Hi, thanks for joining us again for another Sisters Talk on Granny's Front Porch. Today we have Krista with us, and she's going to be us two today. We did have Jennifer on with us. She was by the ocean, but a storm rolled in, so I guess she's not going to be able to. We might see her in the interview, but maybe not. But we're here to let Krista share a little more about herself. Hey, Krista, how's it going?
Good. Jennifer had weather problems and we had technical difficulties, and we're only like an hour behind schedule now.
Oh my goodness, I know. I was just making sure.
I was joking. Is something in retrograde or somebody's zodiac out of whack or something? I don't know. I don't keep up with that, but I think it's a thing.
I know. I don't know what was going on. I couldn't sleep last night. I think we were up chatting. Jennifer and I were chatting at 3 a.m. or something in the middle of the night. And then you came on this morning. So things are just weird in the air today.
Well, I had lots of weird dreams last night too. I can't even remember them now. I just remember waking up and remembering them and going, oh, what was that all about? There's lots of different ones with different, topics. And it was those kind of dreams that are not fantastical and crazy. They were all like real life dreams. Like the dreams of like you're trying to finish something and you can't get it finished, or those kind of dreams.
Right,
Not the fun ones or the scary ones.
Not the one that you want to smoke a cigarette after.
No, exactly. But anyway, I'm glad we finally got it together and listened to you and Jennifer's interviews. And I mean, I know y'all, but I feel like I know you better now.
Thank you. I'm getting more reacquainted with myself also.
Exactly. Yes.
I've been following, YouTube has these, is it ASMR or something, where I like to watch a lot of mowing channels where, they do yard work and or pedicures, and I go to sleep by it. And I've started going to sleep by listening to us talk. So, we've had a lot of night talks where we're in the bed and, if we're staying over, and we want to talk so much, when the sisters get together, it's so rare. And those bedtime talks are just so special, but one of us is always sleepy and we just seem to like put each other to sleep.
Well, okay. Well, Emily.
What?
When we were growing up, we all three slept together until we were teenagers.
That's true.
Like some houses we lived in, there was only one bedroom and one bed. And the three of us slept in a bed together. I think I was a teenager before I had my own room. Did you ever even get to have your own room?
Not until y'all left home.
Yeah. So
I had to share with Brady. But he slept with mom and dad, so it really
so you practically, his stuff was in there, but he wasn't. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So of course we're going to put each other to sleep.
Of course. And Jennifer, of course, she's not with us, so she can't defend herself. But she was always in the middle. I just remember always like turning it, kicking her with my feet, trying to get her butt away from me. She was hot. She was always I guess she had a lot. We can talk about her because she's not here, though we're here to talk about you. But she was always a scaredy cat and always wanted to sleep in the middle, and we had to be on the outside.
And that's maybe something we talk about one day, about her childhood. I mean, we all shared the same childhood, but yet we all did have different experiences and perceptions. We experienced it. We all had our own unique way of experiencing the childhood that we grew up.
Oh, isn't that the truth?
Even though we were about as close as three sisters could be, I mean, like I said, we slept together most of our childhood. We wore the same clothes. I mean, we had to share clothes. Like we weren't allowed to. I mean, we might have a couple special things, but we had to share. I mean, we were commanded to share everything. I mean, there was no such thing as that's my toy, that's my doll, that's my shirt. It's like community property.
That's so true. I know.
So,
Oh, that helps me really reflect on just belongings and me keeping belongings. And yeah, I brought up with, everything is to be shared. Nothing is really mine. And
so those who know me well know I wouldn't say I'm a hoarder, but I'm a pack rat. I have a hard time getting rid of things. It's not that I'm selfish, because I'll give somebody the shirt off my back. Yes. I've given my shirt off the back to somebody.
I hope you have a bra on or something underneath. But
yeah, I mean, I will give somebody anything, but to throw something away is difficult for me. And one of the projects looming over me, along with all the other stuff I've got going on that eventually we'll get to, if not at this conversation, but we'll get to it eventually. But I hold on to things, and I think a lot of that is because, like, I've probably got every piece of artwork my kids have done, all their sentimental things, their toys are still in the attic. Now, if I know somebody's in need, I'll go give that away. I've given stuff away when I'm led to give it away, but I just don't get rid of it. And I think there's a couple things that comes into play why I'm that way. Is number one, I do like things because, yeah, the whole sharing, but also we grew up poor, like a lot of people did, but too, we moved around so much that a lot of things that were special to us got lost. And when our mother died in our young adult or late teens, so much of her things, we've got a few of her things, but I don't know. It's just when I was raising my kids, because of losing our mom and because of all the moving around we did, I hold on to things for sentimental reasons.
Yes.
But that is one of the projects I'm working on, and I have several friends, including you and Jennifer, as my sisters, who have tried to do interventions on me about that. But and so one thing that'll come up, that one thing about me is, yes, we moved around a lot in our childhood, and I think one time we were counting up, and I had moved 30 something times in my life. But I've been in this house for over 20 years. I don't know.
Wow.
Probably just over 20 years, 21, 22 years, something like that. And when you move around a lot, you get rid of stuff. When you don't move, you just hold on to it. And not only do I have all my stuff, I know you're going there. Over the years, Ron has stuff from his family, and I've got stuff from my family. Every time a family member would move or change their life situation or hit a new phase of their life, anything special got left here. And that's fine. I mean, I have been honored to have that role as caretaker and sustainer of the family. But everybody's grown up now and don't really need me to. And so it is time for me to let go of those things. We've got 2 or 3 attics in our house, and one of them is filled with Ron's mother's things. She passed away. What was that? 19 years ago, I guess.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was
pregnant
in
with Chloe, and Chloe's almost 19, so it was 19 years, I guess.
2003.
Yeah, yeah. And when we cleaned out her house, I had just given birth to Chloe. That's my third and my baby, my last child. And it took us a few months to settle the estate and put the house up for sale. So when the house sold, Chloe was a newborn, and we had to clean her house out. And her house is as big as my house now. It was 3,600 square feet, full of stuff.
Huge, yeah.
So a lot of that stuff got put in my attic, and it's still there. I don't know what's in there. We joked that one day we're gonna go through them boxes and find something worth $1 million, and we're gonna be like, "Whoa! I can't believe it."
Let me come over and
I know. But I do have.
I didn't find anything.
That's what tell them what's in there. I just hope it's still in decent shape after all these years. But anyway, it's been I felt it was my role really in both sides of the family, whether it really was or not, whether I should have or not. I did take that role. I have no regrets about it, but I am getting to that phase in life where it's time for me to sort all that out, but it's coming, but not today. Not today.
I hope I have everything out of your house that was mine. I don't know if I do or not, but
I still occasionally get mail.
you do.
Usually credit card offers, and I throw them away.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. This is becoming now the place where a lot of family members get mail.
Yeah, now you're okay. So the roles have switched in our family because now you
are here at Jen. Yeah.
Of the Adams La Prairie, right? Mama's family, especially, but
and we get things for James's dad too, and James's mom, and she's never been associated with this place.
Yeah.
And we get it well. Yeah.
So did James, was he a junior?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So that may be because Ron is a junior for his dad, and his dad's still alive, and we get mail for him. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, you asked me before the interview to go glance at the bio that we put on the website back when we launched it. What was that? Was that like 8 years ago?
Probably. I think it was 26. Might have been like 2016 or something. 2013, somewhere between 2013 and 2016 or 20. I threw a lot of posts from previous websites that I seem to have created, and I throw them in. So when I go and look at my archive on Granny's Front Porch, some of those archived articles on the blog are from, other websites other blogs, but I think it was around 2016.
Well, that bio though was older than that because it said I've been married for 18 years and I'm going on.
It was, well, whatever, then it was that time.
Yeah, and it said I had 2 ducks, and that was like over a decade ago.
Well, then it probably was.
These ducks have been eaten by them alligators. They've been gone a long time.
Probably 10 years ago then. I'm sorry, I'm adjusting my earrings. That something being retrograde, my earrings are all topsy-turvy. There, you got to get them sort of aligned. But yeah, I guess it was 10 years ago, because that was the bio that when we first
Yeah, so I definitely need to go in there and update that. That's on my to-do list. But so a quick little bit about myself. I can't remember what I said in our first little meeting, but I've been married since 1994. So however many years that makes. Y'all do the math. Don't ask me to do the math. what's that, 28 years?
28
28?
years. Wow.
28. Been married 28 years. I have 3 daughters who are all pretty much grown. 2 of them have already moved off. I've still got one in college. And most of my life I've spent being the daughter, the big sister, the mother, the friend. I've always been a mother hen. Y'all used to call me that a lot when we were
You're pretty good at that, being a mother hen.
micromanaging, not always doing a good job of it, but just so most of my early adult life, I was a wife and mother. And, thinking back, what did I want to be? I can remember when we were kids, we had active imaginations and we played a lot. This was pre-internet, we didn't even have color TV. We didn't even have cable. So we just had the NBC, CBS, and public TV on a black and white TV that you had to turn the knobs and use the antennas to get the TV, get the stations.
Yeah, we didn't even have ABC.
No. So we had to use our imagination a lot, but we did a lot of pretend, and we did a lot of talking about what we wanted to do when we grew up. Between the 3 of us. Now, it wasn't encouraged. I don't remember Mom and Dad ever asking us, and that's a whole other topic we want to talk about one day. We'll put a pin in that about that. But between us, we would have pretend times. We would pretend like we're grown up and pretend like we're doing this and that. And I remember wanting to be a bank teller, or wanting to be a teacher, or wanting to be, I think in my early teens, I wanted to be a business mogul and be, but at the top of out of all those things, what I wanted more than anything was to be a mother and a wife. That really was what I wanted to be. And whether that was truly what I wanted to be or just what was modeled and I thought it was all I could be. But no, I truly, and it wasn't so much that I wanted to be that, it's just I knew I would be. It's like, that's, so anything else I did was going to have to work with that. So when I was in college, I started off in business and accounting because I wanted something that I could make money. But I also knew I wanted to be a mother, and I changed my major to elementary education because I figured that would be a good career to have, being a mom. So that even influenced what I studied in college. And I actually got married before I finished college. I started college late, so I was late getting out of college. But I got pregnant. I don't know if I knew I was pregnant when I graduated, but shortly after I graduated, Ron and I were pregnant with Gracie, our first child, and we we decided that in our situation, it'd be best for me to be a stay-at-home mom. That's what I wanted. And Ron was very supportive of that, and he had a good job. And I mean, we actually did the math and he's like, really, we're better off if you're the primary caregiver, so I can go to work. And it wasn't about, didn't want that to sound like that he was a male chauvinist, like the woman must stay at home. He's never been that way. If I had wanted to work, he would have 100%, because honestly, it was my decision. He gave, it was my body. I was the one dealing with it. So he for sure, let that decision be mine, but he was 100% supportive of it. And So, from my mid-20s till, even till today, but till late mid-20s to late 40s or mid-40s, my primary job was wife and mother and taking care of the house and being the aunt, being the, the mom that took the stuff for the parties, the just all that kind of stuff. And I don't regret any of it. It definitely trained me for the next phase in my life. I wouldn't say, oh my gosh, I wasted my early adulthood being a mother and a housewife. No, it prepared me for what I think I have coming next. But when my kids were a little older, I think when my two oldest were in high school or middle school, I did start working part-time at a preschool, and I was a preschool teacher for 5 or 6 years, and I really enjoyed that. I loved it. It was a perfect transition job for me, where I felt like I was kind of using the degree that I had. The hours still worked with me being able to be a hands-on mom. Not that my kids needed me that much, but it and frankly, I just love kids. I even though I'm not around kids a lot now, I still like kids better than adults. I always like kids better than adults. And so I did that for a few years, and then I got to a point where I knew, this was about 3 or 4 years ago, I still loved teaching, but I just kept getting this nudge that it was time to do something else. I had gone as far as I could go, really. And I don't know, I can't put my finger, I'm trying to remember back what that catalyst was. It was nothing that was wrong with the job. I just felt it was time to move on. And around that time, I don't know if this is a good time for me to share this, Emily. This might be a whole other conversation, but I know we're going to talk about Dad in the future. So when was that? The summer, what summer was he in the hospital with sepsis? The summer he died? Was that 20?
I want to say it was 2009, maybe. Is that too long ago?
Oh, that's too long ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I don't remember. No, it was. It was.
I do. I just go on my website and I just pull it up.
Yeah. What? Okay, that's the beautiful thing about us having Greenwich Front Porch now, is because we can go back. It's all things are documented. You're the documentarian.
2015.
It was 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that sounds right. I was still working at the preschool. So this was a couple of years before I quit. But that summer that Dad was in the hospital, and we were spending a lot of time together. We were taking turns being with him, but also sometimes we all three would be together with him. And you and Emily both, you and Jennifer both were having blood sugar issues, pre-diabetes things. Or I don't even know if y'all knew it before you went to the doctor, but within 3 weeks of each other, y'all both were diagnosed with either diabetes or pre-diabetes. Y'all were both,
yes,
and through that experience of navigating how you wanted to go forward in your treatment or just dealing with that, you both decided to try lifestyle changes first before you got on medication. And you were the one that really jumped into that, looking into the different eating plans, and you came across low carb, keto, and I wasn't even intending on going down this route, but this is where we're going, so this is where I'm gonna go. It wasn't on our show notes.
That's true.
One thing about me is I don't stay on script very well. I go off script all the time. And but you
To give you more to talk about, I need to give you a script and then you'll go off
and
script.
then I'll go, then I'm good.
Yeah.
Um
I'm sorry.
but anyway, that led to us all three. Well, you started changing some of your eating and immediately saw results, and Jennifer did too. And I was like, and I've known I still haven't been diagnosed with diabetes yet, but I know it's looming there. Like right before we got on, I had some carby stuff for breakfast. Then I started getting the shakes and had to go get me a snack real quick before we started. I can blame that on whatever's in retrograde, but really it's because I was having a blood sugar dip. But anyway, I am getting to a point that the next year or two, I really jumped gung ho in changing not changing, but working on my health, and that really led to not just my physical health, but it led to mental and emotional and spiritual awakenings, and it led to a lot of things. And so when I was still working at the preschool through all this, and really felt like, well, at the time I thought I was leaning toward being maybe a health coach, because so when my kids were all in school, and before I started working at the preschool, there were, and I'm starting to think about what do I want to do with my life as my kids get older. I went through several different things. I thought about being a lactation consultant and a birth doula, because I do have a heart for young mothers. I still do. I love working with young mothers and just being a support for them. Then after our dad died, I considered looking into being a death doula.
Oh, yeah.
And Dad wasn't the first person close to us that passed away. We've been through that with many of our dear loved ones. So that appealed to me. But and then through the transformation I made in my health, I thought about health coaching. I thought about nutrition. I thought about herbalism, because I used, also around that time, I had been on many prescription medications for several different health issues, and paying over $300 a month for medications, and it just didn't feel right. So I had decided to slowly wean myself out of medications, which I'm not saying people should do that, but that was just a choice I made, and really went down the road of herbalism. And so I studied that for a little while, but so I had all these interests, and I didn't know where I was going to go. And so I think at the end of the 5th year I was teaching at preschool, I just felt like I was being pulled in many directions, which is how I kind of feel right now, but it's and that I needed to end that chapter of my life in order to figure out where I was going to go next. And
yes.
So I decided to quit the preschool, because when I do something, I do like to give it my all, and I felt myself not giving my all to the job anymore. And look, I love those babies, and I wanted to be 100% in there when I was with those babies, but I felt this nudge and this pull elsewhere. So that's why I quit the preschool job, so that I wanted to quit it before I got to the point where I didn't want to work there anymore, Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it took me a few years of just getting my kids finished with high school, getting them off to college, and I took a dive into other things too. I found yoga and Reiki, and which are things we can talk about more. I could talk a whole hour about each of those individually.
And speaking of about an hour, I am going to let us just have a quick break.
Okay.
We'll continue this conversation in just a moment.
Okay.
Hold that thought on yoga.
Yes.